Man, this aluminum. There are 12 tiles for the 6 of us. That is not comfortable. That is not comfortable at all. It's maybe usable, but it is not a happy thing. This is very awkward, trying to figure out what to do with this. Well, apparently we're not relying on that territory. Oh, seriously? No! Cancel that! Cancel that! Alright, that's okay. We're going to take this little aluminum right here. This is going to be our thing. Not buying aluminum right now. We'll sell down some silicon. And now we're actually just going to wait. We're not going to play with our money at all, because everything is expensive. If I was going to do anything with my cash, it would actually be to just buy glass and wait longer for an expansion. But I don't really want to do that. We might try and hit the expansion as fast as possible, despite the ridiculous prices. But I want to see if they come down a bit first. This guy actually went for just straight carbon. No aluminum. That's interesting. This guy, I think, just sat on a giant aluminum patch. So we'll see how that goes for him. Herbert did get to an expansion first, with a fairly quick throwdown. I don't even know what order I found it in, because all the founding happened just so fast. It was crazy. He's going to get the nice water. We're just late. That's what it comes down to. We're not going to get the nice anything. I can try for the silicon, but that's pretty much it. That's all I can really try for is the silicon. Look at all this iron up in this corner here. Crazy. Okay. The question is, what do I do with all the rest of this? Carbon's down to $2. So what I probably do immediately is go ahead and get out of carbon and figure out something to put down here. Maybe even farms? Maybe just power? Can I get power down at this stage? New claim would be okay. I can get one power down. Well, not quite, because it costs aluminum. But whatever. 36,000. Man, this 6-player game. This 6-player game. I think I actually might get that, unless Asimov expands and takes it. I might actually get that. That would be cool. Let's get that power down.
Expansive colony expanded.
Excellent. We pulled it off. Okay. He's actually also moved out of carbon. He can do that a lot more easily than we can because he planted in the crater in particular. So that's going well for him. Okay, we got to the silicon. The next aluminum shipment that comes in, we'll be able to throw down another source of power. This is why I hate 6-man games. Oh, so much. And anything higher. It just gets too ridiculous to actually be any degree of predictable, which takes all the game out of it, and it just turns into rolling dice. I'm not a big dice roller, honestly. If you've ever watched me play Hearthstone or anything like that, not really my jam. I want to like those games, I just don't.
Scientific colony expanded.
Well, this guy's doing reasonably well for himself. It's just such an awkward game, though, with carbon being this cheap. Like, we need to get into glass, we need to get into carbon. We've got silicon coming in, we've got power coming in, which is actually making okay money, even though it's absolutely garbage power. Hopefully, as other people move into it, that drives up the price on silicon, we end up in an okay spot overall. Well, there's really no guarantee, and everybody's stuck at HQ level 2 right now. What an awkward game. I guess we can look around at what everybody else is doing. This scientist has no idea what's happening in his life. Niven has a much better idea. He's got actually a decent source of a lot of different things, so he might be okay. Herbert's still pulling in carbon, which is up to $12. I'll give him that. Bradbury's got some aluminum. He deleted a lot of it, and then a bunch of steel down. But iron's a little bit expensive for him right now, and man, they're going to be transporting things so far across the map. We got to an expansion, so that's pretty cool. Power is still doing well. As you can see, that's where most of our money's coming from. I might have been sitting on multiple claims that whole time and not even noticing. That's actually a distinct... That goes beyond a possibility and almost to a straight-up guarantee. Alright, I want to go into, like, 2 glass furnaces, I think. Why is my aluminum getting munied? How does that make any degree of sense in the entire world? No. No. Wrong. Taking pirates. Actually, straight up, incorrect decision. You want to make me mad? That's a fast way to do it. That nonsense right there. That'll piss me off. I'd like to get back into carbon in some ways, but I don't really have a good way to do it, even though it's up to $46. Because I'd have to scrap my power. My option is to rebuild my power elsewhere. Like over here, just some power and move back into carbon over here. Which I guess is my best option. It's not really a great one. I wanted to move into food. But power's doing pretty well right now. Pretty similarly to food, actually, in a lot of ways. Let's see. What if I actually went wind power? Is that acceptable here? Hold on. Cancel this. What if I went into wind power? That's 0.7, 0.7, 1.0, 1.0. That's actually pretty close when you consider night and day. Maybe I just do that here, and I figure out how to move it around later. I'm getting mutinied somewhere. On my silicon. That at least makes more sense. I'll give them that. That makes more sense overall. Alright, I have one claim left. I guess we could go into a little more glass. Would be acceptable. Is this an adrenaline boost? No, it's a slowdown strike. Let's see. Magnetic storms are an option. Let's go ahead and steal some water / silicon from who knows who. Water's actually shorting, so that's cool. I'm losing all kinds of silicon to pirates as well, which I didn't even notice was happening. Wonder what happens if I put down 2 sets of pirates. It's probably pretty dangerous and stupid. Let's see. But I don't know when my own pirates are going to be done. But at least we have a couple of pirates now, so maybe we'll be okay. Still in a terrible spot. Need to get back into carbon quite desperately at this point. So let's do that. It's so expensive to make the move back to carbon once carbon gets expensive. I was hoping to rely on power for a little while longer. Didn't work out. I was hoping silicon wouldn't be randomly shorting. That didn't work out either. I don't know what I'm thinking. Pirates spotted. I'm not going to feel bad about this game because I have been getting absolutely wrecked for no reason whatsoever. As far as I can tell. Like, legitimately no reason. Like, people are still pirating my silicon, and carbon is up to $131. If people are going to play this badly, I don't care what happens in this game.
7,000, 8,000, 9,
Whatever.
12,000, 14,000, 16.
I think my only advantage right now is my reasonable stock price compared to a few other people, so I'm just going to stick with what I've got. I'm also kind of watching for a decent time to throw down these pirates. Although I could just throw them down here and now on the silicon, which is, yeah, silicon's getting held up. It's not actually that expensive. Come on. That wasn't one of them. Oh well. Maybe we'll be okay anyway. Let's see, carbon's at $70, something like that. The glass is still kind of making okay money. It's not the end of the world, I guess. Clark's halfway to being able to buy us. Yeah, he's been doing very, very well for himself all game long. Nobody's been doing anything about him. I don't know what you do about him at this stage of the game. He got a decent found location because he hasn't been poked in. Am I seriously getting my silicon mutinied? Again, that's probably by Clark at this point. Like, almost certainly. Let's go ahead and expand. A lot of those resources are cheap right now. Just glass that isn't. Maybe we'll be okay. I could have... I don't even know what I could have done, actually. People going after Clark, that's good. That means they're not going after me. I guess I could just take, like, these 3 water tiles here and then move them later if I need to. That might be acceptable. Get into some reactors as well on top of that, kind of over in this area. Could work. Reactor. What else to do? Everybody's fighting over stock. Niven and Clark, both in really interesting positions. Have my pirates done any food stealing yet? I'm not seeing it. That really sucks because food's now dropped in price quite drastically. I can't even tell if my pirates are still there. Oh, they apparently are. They got some food for us. Food, of course, not worth anything anymore because that's just how long our pirates took. But whatever, it's cool. It's whatever. We don't have to care. It's all right. I like how we made that truck invisible. There's an invisible truck flying around now because we dropped pirates on them. I like it. We're pulling in a fair amount of silicon. We're also burning silicon like crazy making glass, but at least it's making some amount of money, so maybe it's not the end of the world. We could move out of power. We're making exactly enough power right now, which is kind of an awkward situation to be in a lot of ways. A claim. I'd actually love a claim. I would actually love a claim. Looks like Asimov would also love a claim. Let's drive him into absolutely ridiculous levels of debt and see if we can just sit on what we're already doing. Let's get out of this water, because that was probably a terrible decision. And go on into reactors like crazy. Like, everybody's response to this is to immediately start buying Asimov. Unfortunately, we were a little bit late to the game, so we were only going to get 3. Whereas Niven managed to get to 4. How much money are you sitting on, Niven? Man, Niven and Clark, so far ahead of everybody else. Niven, we identified his fantastic territory as well, right? So that's really no big surprise. The reactors are at least pulling in really good cash right now. The glass furnaces not so much, but I didn't know if we should move them in anything else, but I'm seeing steel right now. Steel's pretty crazy. Steel's pretty crazy. And silicon's still pretty crazy. Mine is still mutinied perpetually this game. I'm actually going to grab more pirates for this. It might be worthwhile, especially because I'm capturing like mutinied silicon as part of this. Well, that was a nice big giant storm right there. 129,000 is what we need to clean that up. I don't think we're going to get there at all. I think Niven's going to take it quite easily and then run over the rest of the game from there, but we'll have to see what happens. We'll just have to see what happens. He is transitioning right now instead of trying to get to a buy, so... But he's already HQ level 5. Oh no, he just hit HQ level 5. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so steel's making us really good cash. It's not that expensive for us to transition into anything right now. One option definitely being electronics, actually, if we wanted to make a move at all. But I don't think we do. Maybe we have to, though. Let's just take that. That puts a nice, big, giant, ridiculous target on our back. So now we really need to make sure that our territory is up to snuff while we just start buying ourselves as much as humanly possible. Okay. We do have interesting glass production down right here. Some of it has silicon. So that's kind of actually okay. Then we have these really awkward steel mills that are garbage, actually. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. I need more power down, honestly, is kind of a big deal right now. Power is definitely a problem. So we're going to do some of that right there. Try and pull in a little bit more. Let's see. I feel like I should have a few more tiles in that. Okay, here, I have some reactors over here. Scientific reactors. Slant drilling could be kind of nice right now in a lot of ways. If I could get to it. I don't know if that's really an option, though. Getting to slant drilling. I would love to do it, though. I would love to. If I can pull it off, that would be absolutely fantastic. I want to move into food, but I don't really see much wiggle room right now in what I'm doing. I need to get a large amount of my stock bought up, if at all possible, right now. I'm making enough money that I think I can kind of do it. Although steel has just died, and I get hit by a slowdown strike, so we're going to waste time on this slowdown by going ahead and using it to make a transition. This is an interesting thing to do. When you're slowdown striked is almost one of the best times to possibly move your resources around, just because you're not wasting as much production time in general. Yes, it's very awkward to put down wind power there, and I probably shouldn't have done it. So we instead are going to go ahead and put down however expensive the solar power is. Which we don't have enough money for, but we can try and get it. There it is. Shortage on chems. We moved out of chems. Why wouldn't there be a chem shortage? It's just the way life works, obviously. Alright. The glass is not quite losing money, so that's something. We could just throw down a core samples. That didn't really work the way I was hoping. So we don't want to move these. We don't want to switch them into anything else, but we will turn them off while they lose us money, at least. I need an expansion. I need to upgrade Firewall's base right now. There it is. That lets us get into significantly more electronics production. Our power is just fine out of these solar panels right now, so that's kind of a big deal. We can also try to go ahead and move into... I actually want a patent lab, and I think an engineering lab right now. Although Herbert's already sitting on 2 Offworlds. How crazy is that? Okay, those are not protected, so... I'm going to slow down strike those. I have 1 claim left. Maybe it's a hacker. Maybe it's his Pleasure Dome, actually. Maybe it's a Pleasure Dome is what we do. 177 there. 179 up there. We'll go ahead and do it. That's not great. It almost feels like it should be lying to us, because it feels like our Pleasure Dome should be making us a bit more money than that, but maybe it's not lying. I don't really know. These are still potentially losing money. I want slant drilling yesterday, please, to help out with those. This will also kind of help out our carbon income. A variety of reasons, honestly, to take it. Farms are incredible. Electronics are fine. This power is kind of whatever. And Niven's after our stock. And Clark's after our stock. That's actually more or less acceptable, the fact that both of them are buying it. However, I don't have enough money at this point to really do much about it. There we go. Hopefully I get at least 1 more, would be nice. I don't want to have to buy either Niven or Clark. Bradbury, potentially very valuable to purchase, by the way. I would love to get at least 1 more of these. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if we're honestly making enough. There, we can turn these back on. They're not complete garbage anymore. There's... Nah! I wasn't fast enough. Alright, that's unfortunate. 300,000 is what it would take to buy Bradbury. We still have more upgrades to get through, so I really feel like I need to go ahead and get that done. I am consuming an awful lot of aluminum to make these electronics. Let's just get into, say, an engineering lab or 2. And then I've got 3 tiles left over after that. I guess I could try and make steel. I don't get adjacency bonuses if I throw down the steel here, but it helps me kind of remember where all my steel is, so I'm still just going to do it. And then 1 more engineering lab. Let's say here. Alright. That's actually goon squatted now, so that's fine. We could steal this Offworld. Offworlds are acceptable, but not ridiculously overpowered this game. Bradbury also has 2 engineering labs. Let's go ahead and do some electronics research. It usually holds its price very, very well.
I hate those filthy
Pirates spotted. Stealing. Okay, stealing right here from this, which is actually mine. I didn't even see I had these. That's what I get for not paying enough attention. Because they were connected here, I clicked on my scientific thing. Alright, that's unfortunate that my stuff's getting stolen, but whatever. Aluminum up to $170 right now. How crazy is that? We could try and steal somebody's aluminum, but none of the aluminum's really all that... I mean, the aluminum is just so awkward this game, I guess, is basically my point. However, we did just pick up slant drilling, so if we could upgrade... we can do some of that. There. And we actually have aluminum right here. I didn't even think. I could have just scrapped these buildings. But I don't really want to scrap these buildings because they're scientific, and you don't want to scrap scientific buildings unless you absolutely have to. Why is aluminum $267? I don't even want to know. Because there's a shortage coming. That makes sense. Somebody bought heavily into it, shorted it. We're seeing the result. I need to start actually saving up cash at this point. I need to get to some stock purchasing if I can. I have 3 claims left. No idea what to do with them. I could just go into more carbon as a definite option. I could go into a ridiculous amount of electronics production right in here. Just be like, just slam down a hexagon and try and work with it. I guess that's what I'll do. All I've got to contend with are slowdown strikes this game. And if I start throwing those out myself, they'll be more expensive for everybody else to deal with. That might not have even been good. Might not have even probably wasn't any good. But it raises that price on the slowdown strike. So I'm hoping that it's okay long term. This guy is really not pulling in a lot of cash for me. I have this patent office just sitting around. Let's grab up virtual reality. Let's see. Is my power okay once it's daytime? Barely. It's not good, but it's okay. We could throw down a little extra power right here. Maybe even scrap out of these and start pushing toward Offworlds at some point. I don't feel like it's that time yet. But it's starting to get there. Cheapest guy on the map cost over 600 for me to purchase, it looks like. Not good. We need a lot of money to get that done. Niven somehow has a D bond rating. I guess it's that 200,000 debt working against him. Also, everything is dry ice, and I've been totally ignoring that all game, so that's not good. Let's go ahead and keep upgrades rolling in. Let's see. Upgrading oxygen, probably not the worst idea, because I think that was the off-world send. Yeah, oxygen is definitely the off-world send, so let's just start upgrading that. Get all that done. Could grab another slowdown strike, hit Clark with it, because Clark's halfway to buying us, and man, that's terrifying. Probably not the best idea. These guys already have seriously upgraded oxygen, though, so 568 is what we actually need to kill somebody, it looks like. We're close to the lead-in cash. Clark and I are very, very similar to each other. I don't know if we can actually buy Bradbury and stay safe, is the issue here. We might need to push to a buy on Clark, which costs 762. We're making decent progress that direction, but we're just not there yet. Mutiny on the Pleasure Dome. That really, really sucks. Did that just go up in value? Why would that go up in value right now compared to what it was just a moment ago? I actually don't know. Let's see. All this could move back into water. Water's pretty solid right now. Some of it could actually be really, really good water. Power's okay, but it's just paying down debt. Don't want to move the scientific buildings around for the stated reason earlier, but I might need to. Let's see, was that a buy I could make? Hold on. For just a moment there. I could buy Niven. That's actually... No! Ah! I was too slow. I was just too slow to get the Niven buy done. Oh, that's infuriating. Alright, we're actually going to go ahead and scrap there and just move into some really, really good water. I'm trying to sit here and get to a buy based on what I have now. Might not be the best of ideas. It's been kind of the basic plan for quite some time, though, is to sit here on what I have, continue using the buildings I currently have access to, and try to push to a purchase has been the basic idea this entire time. I don't really want Herbert. What I want is Bradbury. 731 to finish him off right now. I'm getting there, slowly, but surely. My food is not actually making me a whole lot of money right now. Water is doing a lot better than food. Still don't want Herbert. We could upgrade food, although chems are super expensive. That upgrade might not have been worthwhile, actually. Hold on. Let's go ahead and just cancel out of those for the moment. I need to get this buy done is the issue. I'm not all that far away. Come on, come on, come on. 30,000 is all I require. That's it. It's not that much. He's paid off most of his debt as well. And if I can get this done, I think I can take it. But I need to get this buy done. I also don't know how these electronics are doing. I haven't checked them in some time. Not very well. As you can see, everything is just grinding to a halt in the actually me making money department. But we still got to a buy. Bought blues. I don't know how good his territory actually is. But look at all this water we now have access to. That's crazy. Chem Labs coming up. Let's go ahead and transition into even more of those. Let's see. Do we need to shut these down? Not quite, but it's really close. Let's get out of this guy. Go into more Chem Labs. Chem Labs, which should make a ridiculous amount of cash right now. Let's go ahead and upgrade chems, even though it's actually super expensive to do. I'm going to get out of these solar panels. Oh, this is a hologram. A hologram Pleasure Dome. Well, now I have 2 Pleasure Domes with virtual reality, so that's actually making me an awful lot of money. Interesting how you acquire the hologram when you acquire the person. I don't really know how I feel about that. Let's see. Silicon's making decent money. What we can do is take that and make a lot of money from it. Gonna have to be pushing to a buy on Niven before long. We can't keep fiddling about so much. But I think we need to scrap out of literally all of these, move them on into chems. Move this guy into chems as well, because what's the point of having all this aluminum built? And start really paying attention to Niven, who is just making way too much money right now. Absolutely a ridiculous amount of cash is what he is making. I don't even know where it's coming from. Is it power? Is it just these dry ice condensers? It might just be mostly these dry ice condensers. He has some water coming in as well, which is, I guess, fine. His food's okay. I don't know where the rest of his cash is coming from, though, given his ridiculously bad stock value. But 453 is what we need to push to, I think. No, 435 is what it was. That's going to be Niven bought. Herbert has a lot of money, but he needs a lot more than he has in order to actually finish us off. So I think we're probably mostly in the clear at this point. This should just buy the water. If I tell it I want to watch water, I want it to just buy the water.
305, dark blue, code.
Yeah, Yuzzo, that's how much money I was making. My chem labs turned on. Yeah, 3 Offworlds. There's the money, exactly. Those holograms actually doing work. Like, holograms in 6-man games and 8-man games, I can see being far more valuable just because even in their current state, which is only kind of bleh, I can see them being a lot more valuable in these games just because they're so chaotic, you can't keep up with everything.
Dark blue, code 305. Dark blue, code 305. Dark blue, code.
So I think the big reason Yuzzo didn't win that game, not to call out Yuzzo because he played fantastically to be in the spot he was in. I think the big reason he didn't win that game is because he upgraded to HQ level 5. If he hadn't done that, if he had sat there and bought Firewall, then I think Yuzzo would have taken it. And I think he would have been in a really good spot. So that's really the big deal there. Trying to think through the rest of that game. That was kind of a long game. The Pleasure Dome, it was kind of interesting acquiring this Pleasure Dome. It does explain why the Pleasure Dome wasn't making as much as I expected it to. All these holograms. Like, there were also the 3 Offworlds that I acquired when I made this purchase. Like, these 2 things. It made a lot of sense that these 2 things would be Offworlds. Holograms are so good. You'll notice, though, that I actually made use of a spy that game in order to attack these Offworlds a couple of times. So that was nice. Like, a slowdown strike here, I think really, really hurt Terry and kept him out of it a couple of times. I should be using more spies in these games with holograms. Like, spies, if I had been using more spies, it would have been better. I think as people get used to the hologram a bit more, we'll see a lot more use out of the spy. I don't know if Auction a Plot is ever going to get used in a serious game again. See, I think holograms are actually okay in 1v1. It's just that there need to be a couple of touch-ups to the game to fix them in 1v1 because of the specific notifications that tell you when your opponent is building something. That's what hurts the hologram. It still has a lot of effect in 1v1. But you have to be careful. No, Yuzzo made some really good plays that game. Like I said, I think the only thing that kept him from winning was that level 5 upgrade. There's no question that he played a really good game. Death Tacticus. Auction a Plot is just such a... It's such a crapshoot, honestly. Like, sometimes it'll flat out win you the game if people aren't paying attention. Other times, everybody's paying attention, everybody is good, and therefore the tile goes for nothing, and you just wasted money and a black market cooldown. That's it. I don't actually know about this tile. It's an interesting idea. I really wish it didn't quite turn out that way. And maybe later in the game, auctions are still usable, but it's a very awkward thing. It would take a lot of thinking to figure out how to properly use auction to plot. Also, Magnetic Storm did not get used enough that game. But I think that's mostly because pirates were available and mutinies were available, and you can see those got used actually quite a lot. So people, I think, were just mostly stealing resources rather than wanting to just shut them down. I know for one, I was relying on a lot of water coming in from other people for a long time. So despite the fact that water was expensive, I didn't want to blow it up because I wanted people to be pulling in all that water. You know what I mean? And I think other people had the same ideas most of the time. Man, these glass furnaces were heroes. I wish I could see end of game stats, but I can't, and I'll stop lamenting that now. All right, let's hop out. I'm going to make another 6-man lobby, and then I'll be AFK for a couple minutes.